Good morning, friends. Today I am here with Neural Control and Coordination, Part 1 of 11th Standard. In today's session, we are going to discuss coordination, outline of nervous system, neuron structure, types of neuron, types of axon, and generation and conduction of impulse. So let us start the session. First of all, it is about coordination. The working together of various organs or parts of body of multicellular organisms in a proper manner to complement the functions of each other is called coordination. Thus, coordination is a process by which two or more organs interact and complement the functions of one another. For this coordination, there is neural or nervous system which links the various organs and systems, coordinates all their activities, and ensures the integrity of the organs. This neural or nervous system is only present in animals, that is composed of special cells, and these special cells are called as neurons or nerve cells. These neurons are responsible for detecting, receiving, and transmitting stimuli. The human nervous system is classified under two headings, that is central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Here it is about outline classification of nervous system. Broadly it is classified under two headings, that is central nervous system and peripheral nervous system, that is CNS and PNS. Central nervous system is further divided into brain and spinal cord, whereas peripheral nervous system is classified into autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. Further, autonomic nervous system is classified into sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system, whereas somatic nervous system comprises of spinal and cranial nerves. In sympathetic nervous system, there is spinal nerves, whereas in parasympathetic nervous system, there is spinal and cranial nerves. So in this way, whole nervous system is classified. Now it is about different types of nerves in peripheral nervous system. There are two types of nerves, namely afferent nerves and efferent nerves. Afferent nerve fiber transmit impulse from tissue or organ to central nervous system, whereas efferent nerve transmit impulses from central nervous system to tissue or organs. Now the next topic is about neuron structure. Neuron or nerve cells are the functional unit of nervous system. These have a specialized cell structure but vary greatly in size and shape. Each neuron has a cell body, also called as cyton, which contain cytoplasm, nucleus, and nucleus granules. A number of processes arise from the cell body or cyton. There is usually a single axon and available number of dendrites. So dendrites are more in number. Dendrites also contain nucleus granules. Axon ends into a bulb-like structure called synaptic node that contains synaptic vessels containing neurotransmitters. The axon is thus responsible for transmitting nerve impulse away from cell body to a synapse or to a neuromuscular junction. Here it is the structure of a neuron or nerve cell showing all its parts. Now let us discuss about types of neuron. Mainly there are three types of neuron. They are multipolar, bipolar and unipolar. In multipolar neuron there is one axon and two or more dendrites and are found in cerebral cortex. In bipolar neuron there is presence of one axon and one dendrite. It is found in retina of eye. In unipolar neuron, cell body is with one axon only, no dendrites. It is found in embryonic stage. In this figure, you may observe about the different types of neuron. Next topic is about types of axon. Axon may be myelinated or non-myelinated. In myelinated, there is enveloped with Such1 cells which forms a myelin sheath around the axon. Means here myelin sheath is present. The gap between two adjacent myelin sheaths are called node of Ranvier. It is present in spinal and cranial nerves. Whereas in non-myelinated, it is enclosed by a Such1 cell that do not form a myelin sheath, means myelin sheath is absent here around the axon, and it is present in autonomous and somatic neural system. It is the figure of myelinated axon. You can observe here both myelinated and non-myelinated axon. Now the next topic is about generation and conduction of nerve impulse. First of all, the impulse or messages are received by dendrites, which pass it to cell body and then to axon. The nerve fibers, that is axon of the nerve cell, is surrounded by extracellular fluid. There is difference in the distribution of sodium and potassium ions across the membrane. Why? Because this is due to poor permeability of the resting membrane for sodium ions and higher permeability for potassium ion in the resting membrane. And it is also due to sodium potassium pump of the membrane, which carries out active transport of 3 sodium ion for every 2 potassium ion across the membrane. As we know that neurons are excitable cells because their membranes are in a polarized state, and sodium potassium ion channels are present on the neural membrane which are selectively permeable to different ions. When any neuron do not conduct any impulse, that is, it is in resting phase, then the axonal membrane is more permeable to potassium ion and nearly impermeable to sodium ions. The axonal membrane is also impermeable to negatively charged proteins present in the exoplasm. So, in resting phase, inside the exoplasm of the axon, there is high concentration of potassium ion and negatively charged protein and low concentration of sodium ion. But the fluid outside the axon contain a low concentration of potassium ion and high concentration of sodium ions. So due to this, there is a concentration gradient which results in active transport of ions by sodium potassium pump, which transport 3 sodium ion outside for 2 potassium ion into the cells, as a result of which outer surface of the axonal membrane become positive charged while inner surface become negatively charged, and at this situation it is called resting potential or polarized state. But as soon as a stimulus is applied on the polarized or resting surface of the membrane, then permeability for ions is reversed. Thus, outer surface become negatively charged and inner surface become positively charged. So it becomes depolarized, and this is called Axon potential. During resting potential, both sodium and potassium channels are closed, and the resting potential of the membrane is maintained by sodium-potassium pump. Thus, during depolarization, the activation gate of sodium channel open and the potassium channel remain closed. So, sodium ions rush into the axon, making the nerve fiber electropositive with respect to extracellular fluid. Whereas during repolarization, the activation gate of potassium channel open and sodium channel remain closed, so making outside positive charge and inner side negative charge. This figure shows about sodium potassium pump, sodium channel and potassium channel. This figure indicates about Axon potential. Here it is clearly seen here about the movement of ions during depolarization and repolarization. This diagram clearly shows about the resting potential, depolarization, repolarization and back to resting potential. This is the animated diagram of resting and Axon potential. This diagram indicates about the transmission of impulses. This figure shows how Axon potential is generated throughout the axon. Here it is about the direction of impulse through the axon. So this is end of today's session. Thank you. For any kind of doubts, please write your question in comment section.